Alright, so I'm sitting here at work. I've got my LS1 on the stand here, and I have got some downtime, and I've got a lot of stuff I need to get done before I swap this LS1 into my IS300. And one of those things is I need to figure out a windage tray situation for my GTO oil pan. The IS300 needs a GTO oil pan because it's a front sump, and I need this clearance in the back to clear the cross member of the Lexus. So the GTO is pretty much the only vehicle that has a front sump LS oil pan. So when I bought the pan, all it came with was this. This is technically called the windage tray. I guess what I'm referring to is the oil pan baffle. And factory LSs have like built-in baffling. That's what these bosses here are for the baffle to go in place. And there's aftermarket versions that have like a sump, and it's called trap doors. They can have built-in trap doors depending on the application, and that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try and build a trap door oil pan baffle for this GTO oil pan. I picked up some weldable sheet metal from Ace Hardware, along with some weldable flanges, and these are going to be the trap doors. Pretty simple. So the first thing I need to do is cut out a sheet that fits here nicely and lines up to all the threaded boss holes. What I noticed is the width of this sheet is pretty damn good already. It fits in the pan in the back, in the front. So if I get the length right, and if I cut it to where it lines up to the back of these threaded holes right here, and then basically clearance out this section here for the oil filter housing, and that'll be a good start. So now that we have the general shape cut out, the width and the length of it is good, but now I just need to clearance out a little section here to clear where the oil filter housing goes. And then after I do that, it should drop into place. And then from there, we can go ahead and cut our opening and then make our baffling, our little trapdoor system that'll be in the back underneath all this. But for starters, let's just get this plate sitting nice and flush. I'm gonna need to drill some holes so bolts can go through and secure it to all these bosses here. But anyways, let's get to it. Alright, it fits pretty good, just some notching it out. I might have went a little bit too big, but whatever. So now I need to go ahead and mark and drill out the holes. I'm trying to think of an idea of how what I can do to know where to drill the holes at. I was kind of thinking about grabbing some grease and seeing if that shows up on the plate. Might show up. So this way, when I put the plate down, maybe the grease will mark where I need a drill. Uh-oh. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. Nice. You can tell where the center of that hole is. Sweet, I think that'll work. Man, that worked out almost too easy. I'm gonna go grab some hardware and just make sure all the holes are lined up pretty good, which they do look like they're pretty good. I shouldn't have to mess with anything, but just to be sure, I want to make sure all the hardware goes in here and it fits nice and good. I'll be right back. All right, gave the hardware a quick test. Everything lines up, all 6 bolts, no drilling or widening of the holes needed. Got lucky with that little grease trick, but so now I can focus on making the baffling or the enclosure for the pickup tube. The pickup tube is going to sit somewhere right here, pretty much in the middle of this. So you need to make a wall back here, the sides, the front, and then the trap doors are going to be built into the back wall that's under this plate here. And what I think I'm going to do is use the skinniest part of the pan, because it just so happens to be like the exact width of the plate that I bought. It fits really nice right here. So I think I'm going to wall it off right here below the pickup tube and build the trap doors in the bottom of this. And then yeah, I need to cut this out for the pickup tube to go through, make some vents for oil to allow oil to come down and just fill up the sump, I guess is what you would call it. I need to make, because it's not sealed off completely on the edges, there's plenty of room for oil to get down in here, even right here. That's what you want. You don't want it completely sealed off. You still want oil to be able to get into it. You just want to delay the splash out of that sump. You want everything to be in here as long as possible. You know, you don't want that pickup to go dry for any reason at any time. Okay, so here's the plan. I've got the back wall welded on with some pretty ugly welds I'm not very proud of, but it's stuck, it's not going to go anywhere, and that's pretty much all that matters. So for the trap doors, I've got these two 2-inch weldable flanges, and what I think I'm going to do, well, first of all, this is the rear of the pan. We only want oil to slosh forward towards the sump, not away. So I'm going to mount these in a way that it only opens in the direction of the sump. It will not go the opposite way, it will only go towards the sump. So basically what we're doing is allowing the oil to swish from the back to the front, and then if it tries to go back, the door shuts, it won't go back. That's the purpose of this. So what I'm going to do is just weld the bottom part of the flange there. I'm going to put one here, another trap door here, and then after it's welded on, I'm going to cut in and cut a little notch out of here, so that way the actual plate will stop it from swinging in that direction. Like if it was up here, you know what I'm saying? But if it's down here and I just notch it out and keep some meat on the plate here, it'll keep it from swinging in that direction. It might be kind of hard to understand. I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to weld one up and kind of show you my idea, and hopefully it works out. But basically, this is going to allow any oil that's in the back of the oil pan to come up to the front under like hard braking and like negative G's, but whenever you're in positive G's, it's gonna shut and keep the oil up front near the sump. It's gonna prevent it from flowing backwards into the back of the pan. It's gonna keep it all up front near the pickup tube until you come to a stop and have negative G's, and then it's gonna open up and let the oil come through. So what I need to do is cut out a little doorway or opening, and then all you're gonna see here is a trap door in this little section here. I'm gonna cut it out now. All right, before I get too far ahead of myself, here's a little update of what I've done. I've obviously cut out a hole for the pickup tube to go through, and I might need to cut a little slot right there for the tube. That might interfere right there. I've obviously put this wall up on the side, and to clear the oil filter housing, that little bulge in the pan right here, I had to angle this piece, and instead of having two pieces, all I did was put a bend in it, attach it there and there. So now I've cut off the excess hanging off the back. Now I need to cut off the excess hanging down. Cut all that off so it's nice and flat. And I think I might as well just put a couple trap doors on this wall and 2 trap doors on this side. There's no point in putting a trap door in the front because there's no really volume of oil in front of this sump I'm making. It's all going to be behind it and a good little chunk on this side. So that's really the 2 places that'll benefit the most from some trap doors. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. If you want to see the rest of the build and this LS swapped IS300 progress, subscribe. Please don't forget to like and comment below if you have any questions or advice or any tips you want to give me or the other watchers of this video. But yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one. Later.